Most people find making good money in sports cards complex, frustrating, overwhelming, and downright hard. And that's because they are trying to make hundreds of different decisions at one time without any certainty or confidence. In a sense, they're guessing. Is this player the right buy? Is this card the right buy? Is now the right time to buy them? Is this price point the right buy? When am I going to sell this and for how much? And is it even going to get to the point that I want and need it to? And then if they were right about it, they hope that the next one's right as well. So essentially, all of this is built on hoping and praying. You win some, you lose some, and that process keeps playing out without you knowing what's actually working. I wanted to make decision making really easy for myself. I wanted to make the buying process and the selling process happen almost automatically. And I wanted to make sure that my decision making got better with each card that I bought and sold. So I built this one simple flywheel with 4 different parts. And the best thing about this is that with each turn, it gets even better and it compounds. So what that means is that the card that I sell today doesn't just make me more profit, it helps to make the entire system better. And it's the same for the losses too, which is really important. Because without that information, I'd just be guessing and hoping what was working, and I'd hit the mark sometimes and miss the mark the others and have no idea why. So in this video, I'm going to put this entire flywheel on the screen. I'm going to show you how it works and where it starts to turn on its own so you make more profit per card that you sell. So one of the most common mistakes that I see people make is that they're obsessing over the wrong thing, and they're obsessing over one thing. And that's that they're focused on one card only. So what I mean by that is like, did I buy it right and did I sell it right? And they're just looking at a sample of one. And yes, that matters, but it's not where the leverage is. It's not where the compounding comes in, because that's not building a system out that's going to help you make better and easier buying and selling decisions for yourself in the future. This flywheel is. A simple flywheel is something that with each turn, it picks up momentum, it gets faster, it gets easier to turn, and it compounds the efforts. This is where leverage comes into it. It's like, I know that if I do these things, then I should get X outcome. And if I don't get X outcome, I can analyze why and make the entire system and the entire flywheel better. So the people in this industry that are approaching this like a hobby are the ones that don't see the results that they want. But the ones who treat it like they're a business owner, like an operator, even if they're not considering building a business, are the ones that get the results because their inputs are better, so their outputs are better. They build a loop so that every card they buy and sell makes the next decision easier and better. That's the whole difference between actually making profit on every card that you sell and just throwing something at the wall, seeing if it sticks and it works and having no idea why. So this is the first stage of the flywheel. And honestly, it's the one that almost everybody skips. They don't make a decision for themselves of the actual game and the level in the sports card industry that they want to play. Because when we look at the sports card industry, there are different games. I can buy raw and I can grade. I can set up my own breaking business that people buy into. I can buy into breaks and repacks. I can buy into packs and rip them myself, or I can buy singles and resell them. So that's 5 different games. And each of those have a different set of rules. Each of those have a different set of trade-offs. Each of those have a different set of actions that you can do to dominate it and win. But then even when we look at those different 5 games, there's different levels inside of them. Are we going to play the low tier game and focus on cards that are like sub $15, $20? Are we going to focus on the mid tier game, that 20 to sort of 300? Are we going to focus on the high tier, the 300 plus? Or are we going to focus on the premium, like the cards that are worth thousands of dollars? Because again, those different levels have different rules. They have different markets of buyers and different sizes of markets of buyers and different reasons for those buyers to buy. So when we choose our game and when we choose our level, we can become very focused and very intentful on what it is that we're going to do, the sorts of cards that we want to buy, and why. We can play the rules of that game to win for ourselves, whatever that means for us. And the best thing about this is that all of these things work. There is no best choice. There's no best game and there's no best level to play at. It simply comes down to your personal preference and which game you want to play and what level that you want to play at, so that you can then set yourself up to do that. Okay, the key when you're beginning is one game and one level. The reason for that is it simplifies things. That allows us to focus. That allows us to put our resources, our time, our energy, our attention, and our capital to that one game. When we see success and we want to play a different game or add a different level into the game that we're playing, we can. But at the beginning, we need to set up the system and set up ourselves to be like, hey, I'm playing this game really well right now and I'm winning. Until then, adding a different game or different level to it means that we chase 2 rabbits or 3 rabbits and we don't catch either one. This right here is essentially the focus filter. Personally, I chose singles and then I chose the mid-tier level and am testing out the higher tier on top of it to see what the difference is in that game. And typically it's smaller buyer pools and it's slower time to sell and it's sometimes lower profit margins. But when I get the timing right on those cards, that's where we'll start to see success in that game. So yeah, as I just said, personally, we chose singles and we chose mid-tier. That's our game, that's our level. So that is what we focus on. And then we added the rookie cards only to that, and we added NBA and MLB only to that to make it even easier for myself to focus on the sports that I know and love and the types of cards that have the biggest market cap. I just have this belief that when a player is in their 10th year, the ones that will hold the most value are the rookie cards, and the cards from years where they won a championship or won an award or something like that. That's where I chose to focus. And personally, it's why I believe we've been able to have the success that we've had, the 39K of rookie cards sold in 7 months at around 24% profit margins, because I've just been able to focus. I haven't been buying all these other cards and trying to play those games. I've been able to focus here. So step 1 for yourself, choose your game, choose your level. And once you do that, once you lock in your game and your level, everything else gets easier. Reason for that is you're answering one set of questions and you have a very specific set of data points. You don't have 1,000 different data points and you're not asking and answering 1,000 different questions. So stage 2 is research. And here, there's just 2 different data sets that we use. And these 2 data sets inform every single buying decision that I make and every single selling decision that I make. The first of these data points is your own data. This is why I built and love the dashboard so much, so that I can look back at my own data and see which types of players, so what player archetypes, a Hall of Fame, a elite player, a superstar player, a breakout player or a prospect, sold the fastest for me and for the most profit. And then I can look at the tags and see what sort of card designs, what did the fastest movers and the most profitable cards have in common, so that I can then go and look in the buying stage for more of those types of player archetypes and those sorts of card designs. So this is where I'm searching on eBay or other platforms. I will put in those tags. And the market research helps me see what players are currently undervalued, so that they're the players that I should search for because they fit this player archetype. And I'm going to look for these sorts of card designs. Okay, your own data is the quick, easy part of it. The market data side of it, that's a little bit more challenging because we need to create the skill where we know what the signal is and what's just noise. This is where time in the market helps. This is where player narratives, team narratives, looking at players' markets and their indexes on how much have we dropped, how much have we risen, what's the volume like, what are their signature shoe sales like, what are their jersey sales like, are they part of the culture, so that we can see this player right now is undervalued. They have these potential exit catalysts coming up this season or in the short term or in the longer term if we choose to play that game, that if they happen, this is where the market's attention will come in, this is where the demand will come in, and this is where the value will come from. These are the things that will reprice this player's market and cause it to go up. So for myself personally, like I said, with my own data, this is where the dashboard that I've built out lives, and it is a gift to you. In the description below, you'll see the link where you can get the dashboard to start using it for yourself. It will auto-calculate your most profitable cards and your fastest cards to sell once you start putting in the buy price, the buy date, the sold price, the sold date, and those sorts of things. Really simple, really quick, and it gives you that great overview. The market data is what I do every single week for myself, and I put it in the rookie heat sheet to give away that information to people so that they don't have to spend the time doing it themselves. I love data, always have. Whether it's sports analytics, whether it was marketing and advertising, data is just something that I have a soft spot for. I'm a bit of a nerd that way. So I am in the markets daily, and I put it in the rookie heat sheet because that's what I use every week to inform my own buying and selling decisions and track player movements and pricing and volume. And I hand that to the subscribers of the rookie heat sheet every week so they can do it themselves and they can use that data to make their own choices. If you would like a free issue of that to experience it for yourself, again, Link is in the description for you to go through and have a look at the sort of market research that we're doing that informs our buying decisions, because this is the big part. As I've got here, it helps answer all of your buying and selling decisions. Okay, so this part here with the research, it is essential. And what I'm aiming to do here is show you what the data helps you with and the questions that it helps you answer. Okay, I'm not showing you how I do it. The dashboard will help you and the rookie heat sheet will help you with that. Okay, but this is the fuel that the whole wheel runs on and helps with the next stage. Stage 3, buying. And buy now because you've chosen the game and the level that you want to play at, and because you have your own data and you have the market research data. These become so clear for you. The market research helps you see who's undervalued right now, what their price ranges are, when you should buy them, and also help inform when you should sell them. This is where your own data shows you what player archetype they are and what sort of card design you should be looking to buy into. This is where the market legacy design framework comes in, so that you can take that player market that you've already done. You can look at, is there any legacy that's already built in or anything potential that's going to be coming for them? And also this is where the card design comes in, the MLD, market legacy design. It all formulates here to help you make great buying decisions. Okay? And that also helps you understand what range you need to buy at and where you then need to sell at in order to make your profit margins. So that's where the exit catalysts come in. What's happening for this player in the near future, this season, or over a few seasons, that's going to cause attention, demand, and value to come into their market so that I can make the price range that I need for my profit margins. Because if I don't feel comfortable that it's going to get to the price range that I need to make my profit margin, then it's not a buy. Like, that's what this does. It makes that so much easier instead of thinking and guessing and going, oh man, do I think that this player's market's going to go up? We have all of this data here so that we can look at it, and then I can say, look, I feel confident that this is going to happen based off what I'm seeing. I'm going to buy in. And I'm okay if it doesn't happen, because it's going to make this decision easier in the future, because I'll see what I got wrong. And if I look at it and I go, I'm not confident, then cool, it's a very quick decision. Let's keep looking elsewhere. Okay, so to sum this up, this is who to buy, it's what designs to buy, when to buy, and at what price. And it uses the MLD framework, knowing the exit catalyst and knowing what profit margins you need. So what price you need to sell at to meet those profit margins. Okay, one of the keys to this is buying before that catalyst, not after it happens, so that we can sell into it or sell when it happens. That's going to be a deep dive for a future video that I'm really excited to walk you through. In the next video after this, I'm going to go deeper into the who stage by breaking down those different player archetypes, so that when you're in the dashboard and when you are in the market research and looking at players, you know, is this a Hall of Fame guy? Is this an elite guy? Is this a superstar? Is this a breakout? Is this a prospect? And what the trade-offs are and the reasons why we buy into those players, because some of those archetypes have massive value potential built into them, where others are more safer bets that have great volume and liquidity. The point being to all this is a good buy isn't a guess. It's the result of getting stage 1 and stage 2 of the flywheel right. And when we've bought cards, it brings us to stage 4, selling. And this is the thing that you need to tattoo on your brain. Every single card that you have is essentially worthless until somebody buys it from you. It might have a perceived value that the market has placed on it, that it's worth this much. You might have some internal value that you place on it. But when we look at the actual value, until it changes hand and somebody sends you the money for it, it is worthless. And because of that, this is the most important step. And at times it can be the most challenging step, because selling isn't just, I have this beautiful card, I'm going to list it and it's going to be sold. It's using the right sales channel for yourself. It's knowing who your buyer is and the reasons that they're going to buy it from you. It's selling into the catalyst event that's coming up. And it's making sure that you sell within the price range that lets you hit your profit margin. So many people do all the work and they focus on the buying stage because they think that's most important, that they neglect the selling component. So they buy all these cards and then they can't move them. Or they do move them, but they're at break even or at a loss or at a very small profit. Okay, I'm telling you that this is one of the most important aspects of the flywheel. Okay, so the key points here is knowing your sales channel. So are you selling on eBay? Are you selling on whatnot? Are you doing private deals? Are you selling at shows? Are you using your social channels? Because like with the games and the levels that we chose at the start, each of these sales channels is different. eBay, whatnot, and other online platforms, they give you free foot traffic. They will put attention on your cards, but there's typically a fee that's involved with them, and you are hoping that you've got the title right and you've got everything right and that someone will find you. You're leaving that outside of your control. The fees tend to eat into your profit margins, and then you've got shipping on top. So we need to factor that in as well. Okay, when we've got card shows, we know that the people that are there to buy. A lot of the leverage here when it comes to selling though is with the vendor, because if we're walking up to a vendor and saying, hey, I have this card for sale, are you interested in it? They then have the leverage to name their price, and they will bring in these things like, well, here's the cost that I've had to come here. This is what I value it at. This is where I need to buy in order to make my profit margin. Like, there's different aspects of the negotiation and the sale that come into it that we need to factor in. The best news is that there's no fees. Like, you get everything that it's worth. You're not paying someone a percentage of it. And we know that the people that are there are interested in considering purchasing cards. It's a very interesting point that I want to mention about like eBay, whatnot. When people are there, they tend to want the cards at a discounted price. Like, yes, they're considering and they're interested, but unless they're like, I must have this card, they're going to want to negotiate and try and get it at a specific price. The final one of private deals, selling off your social channels. The really hard part here is that you need to create the attention, the distribution, the awareness, and what I like to call the foot traffic for yourself, because people don't know that you exist until they see you on social media, and then they find value from you, and then they like you and they know you and they trust you. And that's a very long process, and oftentimes a challenging process, because there's so much content out there. There's so many different things fighting for our attention and our awareness that we need to create a ton of volume in order to get in front of the person. And when we're in front of them, we need to deliver enough value to be like, hey, I'm going to follow along with this person. So until we reach the tipping point in that attention and that awareness and that distribution, sometimes the social game takes a long time to pay off until that tipping point is reached and people are like, oh, you exist, you have great cards at great prices and I really like you, so I'm going to buy from you. But once that happens, personally, I've found the private deals to be the most beneficial, the easiest deals to do, the ones that really create win-wins and have the highest profit margins, but a lot of work goes into them. It's also where a lot of repeat buyers come from. So I just wanted to say that so that you know that essentially here you are choosing a game to play as well. eBay and whatnot, both online, but two completely different games. Card shows as a vendor versus card shows as a visitor, two different games. Trying to sell online and build your own brand, a different game as well. So different trade-offs, different skills, different actions need to be taken with them. But we need to choose what are our sales channels. Okay, personally, I chose private as the main one, with eBay and card shows as an accessory to it. The reason I did that was I knew that if we could do our own private deals and build a social channel and following for ourselves, it would build the trust with people. They would come to know me, they would come to like me, they would come to trust me, which means that then when they go to our eBay store or they see us at a card show or they see me rock up at a card show to their table, they know who I am, they trust me, and we can get a deal done there. The second part of this is knowing who your buyer is, or what the market that you are selling into is. So are you selling to a collector? Are you selling to a flipper? Or are you selling to a large or a small business? Because again, they're going to want different things and have a different strategy in order to buy off you. Collectors, well, they're going to want the cards. Great. But oftentimes like, hey, this is for the PC. I don't really ever envisioning reselling this, so can you do it for me at X price? Flippers tend to want the best price as well. I find that it's the other business owners that understand who you are, what you're doing, the game that you're playing, so there's a lot more respect. And I also find collectors great as well, because when you start to do repeat deals with them, that's where deals become easier. They know that you have fair value and they don't ask for as many discounts and they don't try and negotiate as much. Okay. The other part of selling, as I said, demand, marketing, distribution. If we're on eBay, whatnot, and those other platforms, a lot of this is taken care of for us, and anything that we do on top of it just layers on and adds to it. The same with card shows. A lot of the demand, the marketing, the distribution, everybody that's there is there because they're interested in cards. But if we do our own on top of it, then it's an accessory for it and makes it even better. And then, of course, if we're doing private deals and socials, we need to do all of that for ourselves. Okay, we need to know what our exit catalysts are, which is part of the research and part of the buying, so that we can keep an eye on them. When are they coming up? Are we trending in the right direction towards it? And again, we need to know what our price point is so that we can meet our profit margins, or we can make a choice of, hey, this exit catalyst isn't going to happen. I'm going to exit because I don't want to hold and have all this capital locked up in this card for the future. So I'm going to exit now. I'm going to mark it down. I'm going to look at what happened. What did I get wrong? Why didn't what I thought would happen? So that we can put it back into our dashboard and our own data to make buying decisions better in the future. Okay, and now the part that almost nobody sees. And it's the whole reason that this is a wheel, a flywheel, and not just a to-do list. Watch what the sale does. Okay, the flywheel turns and it goes again. So the sales data sharpens the research. I put into the dashboard, this card sold, here's the profit margins, here's the days to sell. And I can look at the tags and be like, okay, what was it about that card that made it sell quick and made it sell for profit, made it sell slower but sell for profit, or made it sell really slow and for a loss? I can look at that and I can go, okay, what was it about this that I got wrong? And the other side of that, if it sold really quick and sold for great profit, what was it that I got right? Was it timing? Was it spotting value? What was it so that I can do it again? Okay, that sharper research, it tightens your buying filter. So the market research, this player, I'm getting asked this so much right now. Am I buying more Jalen Johnson and am I buying more Denny Avdia this offseason? Because those guys were the biggest risers and the best movers for us last season. And my answer is no. Because their markets are already up. Yes, they've cooled this offseason, but the expectations are set in. And a lot of the catalyst events of last season, like the breakout performances in the All-Star, it's already priced in. So if those things happen again, we're not going to see as big of a jump. So what I'm doing is I'm buying more players that are in the current position that JJ and Denny were last season. Because I want that trajectory to happen again. I want that breakout year to happen. I want that All-Star conversation to happen. I want that most improved player conversation to happen. I want that playoff appearance to happen. They're the things. Those players, because that's what I saw with Jalen Johnson, Denny Avdia, Jalen Duran last season. This research and this whole flywheel showed me that, hey, that's what I got right. So how can I now repeat that again this season? So looking at the likes of Keontae George, Matas Bazelis, Stephon Castle, Paolo Banchero, those sorts of guys and others, Brandon Miller, we're looking at Con, we're looking at Coop, we're looking at all of those guys. How can I take small positions in their markets because these exit catalysts and these trajectories that my research and my own data showed me worked last time, will they work again this time? History rhymes. Doesn't always necessarily repeat, but it rhymes. Okay, so that's why this comes in, because then that tighter buying, if I buy more of the right players at the right prices, the right card designs, what worked best for me in the past, it's going to help me sell faster, which is going to free up capital so that I can reinvest and go again. Some of the biggest mistakes that I made last season were buying higher ticket cards because I thought these have a ton of demand, a ton of attention, and they did. But the actual buyer pool was really small because of the price point. So I've learned that lesson, so I'm going to allocate less capital into those sorts of cards this year and allocate more of it into the price range that is super liquid for us right now, and the player archetypes that have been super liquid for us, and that the market research shows that people are interested in and buying right now at a price point that moves really quick and well for us. Yeah? And because I have that freed up capital, I can keep playing the game, I can keep making buys, keep making sells, get more data that can go back into the research of my own data in the dashboard, the rookie heat sheet of what I'm seeing. Did I get a flag right? Like, is Merlin Valdez dropping? Like Sal Stewart rising? Or did I get it wrong? Like Okamoto, thinking that he was a hold after he broke Shohei Ohtani's most home runs for a Japanese-born player and that the Blue Jays were going for a postseason push. But then he actually dropped off because there wasn't enough supporting him, and a lot of that capital went into Murakami, went into Stewart, went into McGonigal, went into Mizraowski and those other players. There wasn't enough there. Yeah, I learned from that. Okay, cool. I'm not going to make that mistake again in the past. It's a question that I'm going to ask myself when I see that sort of player in that sort of situation again. That is the power of this flywheel. Sum it up. The moment that you sell, you get data. What sold, how fast, and at what profit margin. And that data helps you sharpen your research. You know who and what actually moves for you, so you can look at the market data and do market research into those sorts of players. That better market research and your own data as part of the research helps to sharpen your buying. You stop guessing because you're going off what's worked for you and not doing what hasn't worked for you. And because you're buying tighter, things sell faster, you free up more capital. Yeah? And that means that you get more data points, you get more reps at this, and the whole system and the whole flywheel gets better. Every lap spins a little faster, compounds, you get more leverage, and the whole process becomes easier for you because you can see cleanly what is it that's working for me so that I can do more of it. What is it that's not working so I can do less of it. Okay, and it gets better not because you're working harder or you're working more. It's because the flywheel gets sharper and it gets better with every turn. It's not hustle and grinding. It's a machine that is improving itself. Okay, so just before I mentioned 3 players, 2 that this system helped me get right and 1 that it was wrong about. The first of those is Sal Stewart. We saw his rookie card autos when they were sitting around $130. Okay, in the market research aspect of this, we saw that, hey, he's currently second in National League Rookie of the Year voting, and he's starting to make a push because JJ Weatherholt is starting to cool. He's having one of the best offensive rookie seasons that we've ever had, and the Reds are in with a chance of making the playoffs. There's 3 really good catalysts here that are pushing. He's continuing to perform. He's not dropping off. He's not cooling off. In clutch moments, he's bringing in runs. He's having a really good season. There's 3 strong catalysts there that we believe are going to continue, so we're going to buy in. So we're now 2-3 weeks in the future, and those same cards are now sitting at $180 at the lowest. So there's a really nice $50 profit for us when we sold. Okay, the other one that we got right when we were looking at the market research was Esmeralyn Valdez. He was having a historic start to his career, absolutely going off. And his rookie cards, some of the autos got up to $190. So we were looking at this being like, oh, okay, this is interesting. This is already run, so there's a flag there. But do we believe that this is going to continue? Okay, what needs to happen for that to continue? Is he in the National League Rookie of the Year award race? Yeah, he is. He's 3rd. But is he going to overtake Sal Stewart and JJ Weatherholt, who have played entire seasons where he only got called up midway through the season? Highly unlikely. Are the Pirates going to make the postseason? Highly unlikely. So the only thing that would continue driving his market up is if he continues to perform the way that it is. Again, highly unlikely. So we flagged him as an exit. And I'm glad that we did because, again, 2 to 3 weeks after, those cards are down to the 110, 140 range right now. Okay? And then as I mentioned, Kazuma Okamoto, it's one that we flagged as a hold, but it actually dropped. And because the evidence that we wanted there wasn't enough of it. It wasn't substantial enough. Yes, most home runs for a Japanese-born player in their rookie year. Yes, Blue Jays making a postseason push. But because of all of the other options that were out there for capital to go into, it just didn't support and his market ended up cooling. But all 3 of those now help this flywheel to be even better, to be even stronger. Because we can see why we were right about Sal Stewart, why we were right about Esmeralyn Valdez, and why we were wrong about Kazuma Okamoto. Okay? And that's the exact same process in the MLB as it was in the NBA, where it's why are we not buying Jalen Johnson, Denny Avdia rookie cards right now when we could be buying other players instead? One card sale, the Sal Stewart, the Esmeralyn Valdez, it's not where the profit came from. It's where some of the profit came from, and it made the next buy and the next selling decision so much easier. Okay? And when you do that 50, 60 times, well, now the flywheel's turning on its own and you're just looking at the data and being like, okay, cool, this is what I'm going to do next. There's no more guessing. To sum up this video in one line, it's one flywheel. Choose your game, choose your level, do your market research, have your own data there, make better buying decisions based off it, and when you sell, input that data back in so that the whole thing can turn faster and become better with each time. Okay? So pick one game, pick one level, and then get the wheel turning for yourself. Don't spread yourself across multiple games and levels. Don't optimize things just based off one single card that you buy and sell. Let the flywheel work, turn it, and let the data compound, and then let the business start developing itself. That, there guys, is the edge. It's not working harder. It's building this system, building this flywheel, and then letting it turn and compound for itself. Now, two of those stages are the ones that will eat up your most. Now, two of those stages are the ones that will eat up the most of your time and attention each week. It's the research stage. Okay, that's why I publish the rookie heat sheet every week, to save people the time and the effort and the attention of having to be in the markets and looking at everything and analyzing it for themselves. It is what I run my own decision making off. I've been using it and developing it for months now. We have a little over 50 subscribers to it, and inside of it, every single week I'm posting who I'm watching, who I'm buying, who I'm selling, what their markets are like, what their player narratives are like, exit catalysts that are coming up for them. Okay? And it's across the entire NBA and MLB rookie card markets. As I said, link in the description to receive a full issue for free to experience it for yourself. And the dashboard is also there for you for free. That's my gift to you. You just go file, make a copy, and then you can start using it for yourself so that you can better track the cards that you're buying and selling and have your own data to go off. And to be clear, this is just the flywheel that I use. I give that information to people so that they can make decisions for themselves. I'm never saying buy this person right now, sell this person right now. I'm saying this is what I'm doing based off this data. If you'd like to do the same, cool. If not, cool. We're all adults here. We can all make decisions for ourselves, but we're doing it off accurate data. And if you're really enjoying this and you want some smaller bites on market research, market intel, data, business growth systems, follow rookieheat_au on Instagram, because I'm sharing a ton of stuff there every day for you guys to help you make better decisions and to help you make more profit per card that you sell. So thank you for being here with me. Thank you for being here with us. I hope that you found this video valuable. If you have questions, ask them in the comments, hit me up on Instagram in the DMs, and I answer them. It's one of the things that I love most about this community that we're building. And in the next video, now that you've seen the whole wheel, as I said, we're going to focus on the buying component and the player archetypes of it. So that you can see the 5 different types of player tiers, or what I call archetypes that I buy into, how I segment players into specific ones, and what I'm focusing on there, because that player archetype means that a different buyer is going to come along and there's a different game to it as well. Okay, so stay tuned for that, because 2 of those tiers is where the profit margins live. Other tiers is where velocity and liquidity lives. Okay, that's it guys. See you on the next video.